So I purchased this Toshiba 10,000 BTU unit, and I'm going to show you guys how we're going to put this thing together and make it work. It is 110, but this thing right here does have a fuse in it. And it really draws some electricity, so your electricity bill is probably going to go up. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can plug it into here, and if it's going to work okay. I'm hoping. And then we're going to check it out. Now, when you buy it, it comes in the big box. I'm going to pull it out a little bit, and it rolls. I don't know if you can see this, look, it rolls. So it's a very, very cool little operation. Let me just turn it around the back. And it has two drains on it. Now, what I understand is that you can just drain these, every other day by twisting this off and then popping this out, and then the water should flow out. Or you can put a hose on there, which comes with a very small hose. And so it's up to you. You're going to have to test that out. Now, there's also another drain down here that is basically the same thing, but what's bad about this, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, is that it's hard to get. Like, it's got a plug in it too, right? Just like that, and then the water drains out, but you're going to need something super flat. So you may have to pick it up and put it on something to, when you're going to drain it. Now, when you get this thing, let me push that back in there. Got to make sure you get it in there so it doesn't drain all over the floor. And then you put this on, tighten it down. So those are your two drains. Now, you could run a hose out the window, but that's usually not going to work because you got a screen there, so you may just be putting it in a bucket. And I brought a bucket to put it in. And it's a pretty simple operation. They give you these sliders here, and then what you've got to do is figure out what the measurement on your window is all the way up there, and then you have to put these little pins in accordingly. And I've already put these ones in. So it's all the way up touching, and then I've got to get this pin in here, like that. Now that one's locked out. Okay, now I need you.
Get the other pin?
Give me one pin. There.
Oh, that's right. You only need three for 3 joints.
Well, I need just to get it to set. No,
so that's if you needed 3 joints.
Right, so that's that right there. So now let me take this one. I'm going to slide it over here. Push it in here so we have it on top.
Can you get them out easy enough?
I don't know. I'm trying to find the hole. Here. Okay. There, got it. All right, so now this should be fine like that, right? But they only gave me 3, so when the guy was packing it in China, he missed one of the pins that goes on this side. But I'm hoping that should work okay. And then it comes with this, and these little clips, and this pops inside, and then this is your hose. I think it's about 7 feet of hose. And then it also has this collar here, which I'll show you in a minute here. What I do is to get the collar on and off, you got little clips. So these little clips right here, they catch onto this edge here. And then this is gonna go on the back here. This is your top end, there's your little hookup thing, right? And I'm just gonna kind of push this on right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide it down. See how it's going into those little things there? See that? And then I just gotta make sure that this top part is even right on this. And then when I push it, it pops in. So now that's ready to go. We're good on that. This right here is just a thing that you can roll the cord up on. And I'm gonna show you that piece, which I believe is over here. Here it is. So this comes with it, right? And all you do is just, you can see it's got like these little things right here. And so when you squish this in there like that, it's gonna basically give you something to wrap this cord all the way around. Let me show you again. See how that's right there? So when I push it, now when you do it, you may have a little, you may have to put some pressure on the other side, but watch, bam, that's it. I got it. That's all you needed to do. Now that thing's on there. It's also a little brake, but now you can wrap your cord around this if, for storage. You know what I mean? And you may want to store this thing just in case there is a hurricane. This thing comes in super handy on a hurricane because you can hook it up to your generator and you can cool one room of your house, and this would just keep one room cool and we can stay cool. So this is one of the things that is good about this particular unit. So now we've got this on, we put this on, we talked about these drains, and I think the drainage, what we're gonna try first is just to go ahead and hook it all up and see how much water it pulls out of the atmosphere of the air. Because here in Florida, it's a little bit more humid, so we may get more water. Now, if you use it as a humidifier, you're gonna get a lot of water. Use it as AC, you're gonna get less. Okay, so remember that, okay? So anyway, we got this. Now, you could put these things on the sides to try to keep any of the extra air from coming through, which I think I might do to just, to give us a little bit better seal. Now I want to show you this part here. All right, I kind of already attached all this together, but I'm going to detach it so you can see how I did it. So these little things right here are little clips, right? So if you just pull it up a little bit like that, there's 3 of them, it'll come out of there. See how I'm doing that? And then that's basically it here. Now this, I'm just going to deconstruct it. So you got to know how to break it down, right? So you see these have these little clips on them, right there. And so what it does is you push this in. Now, I don't know if you want this side facing in or the other side facing in. I don't think it matters on the door, on the window. What I'm saying is, look, when you put it, oh shoot, let me show you how these work too, by the way. Let me turn them over. All right, let me show you this. All right, so when you get these, there's like 3 or 4 panels of them. So if you look right here, you see how there's a little panel there, a little like chamber that this can slide in. So these slide in there. Now I've already put the pin in here, if you notice, so it won't slide any farther than that. Okay, so that's going to hold that there. And so I've got the pin over here for this one, and I've already measured this in the window. But you're going to have to figure out what the height of the window is. And so what you have to do is you got to determine that. This is the center one with the holes in it. You got to make sure that's in the center. This one I would put towards the bottom. You don't want to have to extend this too much, right? You want to have the smallest amount of extension on this as possible. All right, so let's set that over here. And so now, this is where, you got to decide if you want this facing in or if you want the other side facing in. I don't know if it makes a big difference. You just have to have this, the open area. And so I'm going to put it over here in the window. Now the thing is, you can use these to try to close off as much of the airflow out of the sides around the window when you put that there, so you don't lose anything. And what I mean by that is by putting them here like this, on either side of this. And you can do that by smushing them in the window first, you know what I mean? And then shoving this in. Or you can kind of lay this against it as you close the window, and it'll lock it up against there. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Now this is an adhesive that you could use also. And if you look, you could pull this like this. Let me get it open. There. And then you can set that in the window. And then that will, or you can set it on here on the sides. Let's see if we have enough to cover the whole thing. It doesn't really cover the whole thing, does it? We get about, a little bit of room there. But that can also give you a better seal with the window. You see what I mean? Smushes against it. So we can go either way with that. Now, when we put this here is going to be facing inside, all right? And so if you smush it in here this way, or you could flip this around and put it this way, but this is always going to be towards the inside of your house. All right, so you got to determine which way you want to do that. All right, so I did bring this little bucket so that we could drain it, just to double check it. And I think that should be big enough. I cut basically a plastic bottle in two to do it. So we're going to use that to drain. It does come with this one little drain hose. You see, it's not very long, but that should be sufficient to go from that little thing down to our little cup. Do is I'm going to have this here, and we'll just go like that, or I could just put that there and let it drain into it. We're going to experiment with it, see how much after a couple hours how much water we get. All right. So what I think I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to put it right on the very interior of this area here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to push it in there like that. All right, so that's going to give me a good seal against the bottom of this. You follow me? Let me show you here. So now what I've done is I put that in there. I've got to cut a little piece for there. And that should give us a good seal on the side of this to keep any of that excess air getting out. So now I just have to measure this up. I need right to there. So I just got to cut it right there, and then I can shove this piece up there. Bam, ready to go. All right, I think we're good. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's good. So that's going to work. That's going to be our seal here. And then we've just got to put a little seal on there and going all the way up. And so I may use that adhesive to do that right here, and that's going to give us our seal on that side. So let's do that now. All right, so I pulled the window back so I can get in here. All right, and I've got to pull this little part off of here, and that gives me my sticky side, right? So now I'm going to come up all the way to the top. I'm just going to stick it on there, just like that. See how I want to do it. Maybe just on the inside here, just like that. There we go. That should work. So now we've got a good seal here. And that went all the way up. All right. I mean, I could cut it here, but I don't think I need to. All right, I don't think I need to. So let's take a look and see what we've done so far. I've got this sealed here, and we can pull this off afterwards. And then over here I have this one. And now we can set our window frame in there. This thing here that's going to go inside there. Okay, so we've got that part in there. And now if you look, see, that's that distance right there. I really could use another pin right here But I think if I've got it up against the side there, it should be okay. So then what I got to do is get it up in here, slide it up, and smush it right there. And let me give you a closer look at what I've done. Right, if you look, what I've got it on here. I've got it pushed all the way against the wall, against that foamy stuff, and up here. So you see it up there? So it looks like we got a pretty good seal on it, right there. Now, to lock out the seal, we just bring our door in, and we're gonna smush it right up against it like that. So now the door is up against there. We've got a pretty good seal in there. I'm probably gonna lose a little bit here, you know, but it should be okay. So if you look here, if you look right here, you could lose air here very easily. So I've got to block that, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of this in there so that it kind of blocks it off. So you just got to measure it and stick it on there. Oh shit, stuff comes apart easy. So I did it from the very bottom up. So that's going to seal that, right? And that's going to keep us from getting air through there. We got to put our collar on. So here I am. Let's make sure we've got enough room. It's tight, isn't it? Very tight. All right, so we encountered a little bit of a problem. What I'm gonna have to do is pull this out and put another piece of this, a couple pieces in there, or maybe one of those. So now what we're gonna do is just kind of pull this. And you can see how it stays on there like that. I'm gonna put one of these in there, all right? And I'm hoping, now we've got that in there. So now if we push this here, and then we've got to put this on. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap this baby on right now. Let me first show you what I did. All right, so I noticed that when I closed this, I did not have enough room because of this area here, right? So when I put this, we're gonna go ahead and put this on there, and then we've got to have something that kind of pushes the door out a little bit, but also gives us a seal. So I put this in here, and I'm hoping that that's gonna give us a good seal. Now I probably need a little piece for down there, so I'm gonna cut in another little piece there. So I've got to measure it. So I'm just gonna come in here. I only need about that much, right? So let's go ahead and cut it. And then we're gonna push this in there. Just like that. Right now, I think we're looking good. So now first, let's go ahead and let's put our collar on. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, got to get these two in here. I'm gonna hold this, and then I'm just gonna push this on, right here. Now the collar's on. Now the question is, when we shut it, are we gonna be good? And it looks like that should be okay, right there, because now we've got a seal. Somebody's doing their garbage. So now we've got a pretty good seal on it, right? So that gives us just like a 1/4 inch leeway right there. Yeah. And now we can put this back in, and this should be a little bit tighter, really, actually. Let's see. I may have to trim that just a bit, but I think that's gonna work. Let's see. All right, so we're really close here, which is, I'm not too excited about that, but I think we're gonna be good, and that's gonna be a pretty good seal. All right, so anyway, we have this flex hose that expands to 7 feet, but we're not gonna even need 7 feet. So to get it on, what you've got to do is, you see these little clips right here? It just clips around this little collar. So we just need to get some pressure on it, just push it in there like that. And so you get the clip there, catches the collar, clip here, and under here there's a little clip, and it catches the collar. So now this collar's in there. And now we can bring this end up, and that hooks on here the exact same way. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of hold this up. I've just got to get like a gun on it, like that. You see? Right? And then I'm going to come up in here, twist it, and I'm going to give you a better view of this. All right, so we've got to put this on here. And so what we want to do is we got to get it in these little clips right here. And the clips are going to catch right on this end of the collar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of smush it in like this. See if you can see. I'm going to push it. Now watch right here. If you can see this little clip, it's going to catch on the collar there. So we got to go all the way around and make sure that we do that. That each one of these clips catches, especially the one on the bottom. Oh, good. I think we got them all. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you look right here, see how that catches on the collar there? Same thing here. You want to make sure that those collars are in there. And it looks like we got them all on. So we're good here. We're good here. We've got our window sealed, right? And we've got this. This is going to protect us against anybody trying to break in the middle of the night. So now we just have to move this. I'm going to take this, bring it over here for a second. And then we're just going to pull this over here. So this flex hose is pretty cool because you can pull it and get it so it's not pinching here. You want this, you want to have some room right here, and you want to have some room at the top. All right, you don't want this too pinched. You see what I'm saying? So you need to have that little bit of flow out like that. And then here we have it at the bottom. And I think we're looking good here. I'm going to just pull it out a little bit more. So we've got this one bend here, one bend here. It should be okay. You're going to get a little bleed on this, I think. But, I mean, I could put something over that, but I don't know how much it's going to affect it. But so you want to have this so you've got a good little flow through here. You don't want it pinching too much in here, because it could pull the collars off. You don't need that. All right, so this unit has to have one dedicated wall socket. So you can't have all that shit in that socket. You can only have this in there. That's it. That's all you can put in there. It's got to be grounded. Otherwise, it's a risk of a fire. Because this thing really draws some electricity. So I've got to undo all this, and then I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put my Xfinity and my TV set now. All right, so we're going to try this. Again, this has a fuse in it, and you can actually take it apart and change it. And you get a reset, and you get a test button on it. And so we're going to go ahead, shove her through here. Now what we've done is we've taken everything out of this one socket here, and we're just going to put this into that one right there. I'm just going to put it in the bottom one. Okay, so this is the remote that comes with the AC unit, the Toshiba. And so it also comes with these two, I believe what these are AAA size batteries. They're the smaller ones. So to get them in, what you've got to do is pop this to the side. And if you look on the inside, you're going to see there's a positive, there's the positive. Kind of tells you inside there. And usually wherever you see these springs are the negative. So that's usually with most things. So you just kind of pop them in like that. Bam, Bob's your uncle. And then you're just going to set this on and just push it. And it's on there. Take it off, you pull it, get it on, you push. This is very easy. A lot of these things you can never get the door open. But so we're good on that. So this, let's go ahead and set it down. Get it on there. And that's it right there. Look, bam, 76 degrees. Let's go ahead and turn the power on. Let's try it with this. Bam, there it goes. All right, so it's opening up. We got it on auto. It's at 76. Let's see what happens. Kind of stinky. But it seems to be working. I think it's going to be kind of smelly when it first starts, but it can smell like the refrigerant. But it seems to be working. It hasn't blown a fuse yet, which is kind of good. Now we can make the temperature go down by just clicking this. Let's go to 74. See how that works. All right, so far so good. Let's see if it blows a fuse. It's a little bit noisy, but not too bad. All right, so we'll let that do its thing. Let that do its thing, and then we'll come back and see how cold it gets in here. It's cold, super cold. Now we could turn it a little bit. It says be careful. Like this. Now it's blowing right into the room. Nice and cool. So now I'm in the back of the room, and this basically sounds like a wall shaker. It's not that, really, it's not that noisy. I think it's gonna work good. We'll go 74, see how that does. All right, so anyway, it does have modes. It's on auto right now. If I want to change the mode, I can just go to cool. I think I'm going to leave it at cool. Because we don't want it to go into heating or any of that stuff. We just want to keep it right there. I think that's going to work. And that's your Toshiba, all right? Now, just to warn you guys, make sure you got one plug that you have it in. Don't have anything else plugged in there. It's only this unit. This unit draws a lot of power, even though it's 110, so you don't want to risk fires. Also, make sure that it's grounded properly, and I'm hoping that is, because it's a 3-prong plug, so, you know, if this is an old building, who knows, right? And then you got to check and make sure that, you know, your filters are cleaned every week, all right? So the filters are back here, and I'll do a whole video on how to clean it, but you got to turn it off to do that so you don't kill yourself. I'm going to set this right here, right next to it, and we'll just let this cool everything down. All right, it's been about 12 hours, and it's pretty cold in here, really. It's working pretty good. So anyway, these are the controls. That's your power control, right? And then this is your up and down. Like if I go here, it goes up. So I'm putting it at like 74 right now. Over here is the mode. You got dry, auto, fan, and cold. So if I press this, watch, it changes mode. We want to keep it on cool though. All right? It's got a timer on it, some other things. But that's basically how it works. So now, what I need to do is check and see if there's a lot of water in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, I'm going to check it here, I'm going to check it at the bottom. And so to do that, what I've got to do is turn it off. Right here, watch. And it takes a while for it to go off. It's still blowing. And then it's going to go ahead and it's going to drop down. I'm going to turn this fan off too. It's making too much noise. All right, so here it is. It's going down. And So now we can go in the back here. Hold this over. And we can actually move this a little bit if we want. Of course, the rug's in the frickin' way. Let me pull this rug over. All right, so now I can kind of like twist it so you guys can see. And right here, to check the water, we're gonna just pull this over here like that, right? And then I've got this little bucket here, and I'm just gonna put it under there. But what I've got to do is I got to pull this little plug out right here, and hopefully, I'm thinking that there might not be a lot of water in there, but there could be. I'm gonna find out here in a second. So there's the water. And really, there's not that much water there, is there? So, and it's been going all day. All right, so let's go ahead and put the plug back in. There's a little bit more dripping out. Not much. Let's push that back in there. All right, so that's not that much. I mean, here, look. That's how much water was in there. Nothing, right? So that's kind of cool. So now I'm gonna put this back on. And now we've got this other plug down here. And we gotta check that one too. So to check this one, what I've done is I brought this pan. It's a very small pan here. I'm just gonna set it under there, pop that off. And you can see there's more in this one here. So, but it doesn't look like a lot. We'll see how much comes out. This pan's perfect for draining this thing because I don't have to put this up. You know, I've seen a bunch of videos where they stick it up in a milk crate and then drain it and tip it a little bit. You know, they tip it like this. Let me just tip it here a little bit just to get it to come a little bit more. There we go. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's from one day. You know, so we had it in there. And we had it on 71, so we really had it up there. So let's go ahead and put that back in there. Make sure you put the plugs back in, otherwise you're gonna have water everywhere. And then this one here is gonna go right over it like that. Let's just make sure we got it in there. Yep, I think so. Be careful too, you don't wanna, so it's righty-tighty. So I'm turning it this way to get it to close. You see? And then to get it off, I turn it this way. So let me take it off one more time. There's the plug, it's in there, it's pushed all the way. And there's the screws on it. So again, we're gonna twist it around. Bam, just like that. And it's not, and that's it, that's all you gotta do. And then we can dump this. So that's not very much water at all, really, to tell you the truth, you know what I mean? So I think we can run it like all day, really. And I mean, we could have filled this up more, I guess. It's a little bit of water, not a lot. And then this one here, not so much water in there either. So that is how much water you're gonna get out of this thing when you run it for a day. So we're in Florida, and you know, it's humid here, so you may get a lot more water in Florida than you get in other places. So you may have to check that on a daily basis. So anyway, that's it. And then once you got that, you just pour this out. I'm gonna pour it out here in a second. And then we're gonna come back and restart it. And I'm gonna show you where the filters are. And you need to clean these probably once a week. You can pull this all the way out, and you can see it's clean because I just bought it. But you can, you know, suck it out with a vacuum cleaner, or you could even rinse it out with water. But then, of course, you want to make sure it's dry before you put it in here, because you don't want to put it in there if it's not dry. And it's a tight fit, by the way. You know what I mean? It's very tight. Doesn't want to go in. There we go. So you may have a problem with that too. All right, so anyway, the other filter's right here. And this is a pain in the butt to get open. I mean, I really had to push on it to get it open. I don't, you know, it's really tight in there. So let me try again. Man, that is ridiculous. That does not want to open up, does it? I mean, that's how tight they've got it in here. Oh, look, here. This side's not even in. I guess I can pop it like that. That's interesting. All right, there it is. All right, so in here, you've got this area here where the coils are. And I guess this is the very thin film in between here. So this is a filter right here. And right here, if you look, there's fabric there, right there. You see that? That's fabric. So now when you put this back in, what you've got to do is you've got to get these little nubs right in there, like that. And then you can smush it up. All right, so the key is when you put this back in, you got to get it right. See those nubs? They're going to go right in that little spot right there. And then you got to look forward here and make sure that they're in. like that. You see that? And then you can smush this in right here. You see? I mean, it doesn't go in easy, but there you go. Now it should be easier for me to get out. Let me see if it is. Yeah. So before, when it came from the factory, there was the one thing was stuck on there. So now I can get it in there. So the thing is you got to slide it forward here, as far as it'll go down here and here, and then up here you can get it in. That's the ticket on that. One more time, pop it. It opens up nice and easy. All of this is a filter, so you're going to clean this area here. At the bottom, you've got these little nubs, and right here, you've got that little spot where it goes. And then you have to kind of slide it forward once you get it in there, you know, like that. Let me see if I get it. There we go. You might have to play with it a little bit to get it to go. And then these will fit in nice and easy once that's done. So when I first got this one side was sticking out, and that's why I had a problem with it. But those are the two filters, and that's how you do it. We've got it plugged in down here, and you can see that green light's on. That means everything's good. That has a fuse in it, so if it gets too hot, you can feel the cord and see if it's getting hot. You can also feel this. It was in there all day, and it's not hot, so that's okay. So I think we're good. All right, now to start this bad boy, what we've got to do is come over here, and you're going to see there's a start button there. It's going to give you your temperature up here, and then over here we're going to change the mode. All right, so this Toshiba has a remote control, but it also has manual controls. And it does have a Wi-Fi hookup, and you can download an app and all that, but you know, that's kind of ridiculous. If you're going to be in the room, you just turn it on. Now this is the power button, and that's a universal icon for power. It's got sleep, you know, it's got the fan, high, constant, low, medium. Then it has the temperature up, temperature down, it's got the mode, and it's got a timer. And so you can also do vent angles, so it goes like this on that. But I want to show you the simplest way to do it that I found. And that is, first you're going to just hit your power button and turn it on. And right now it's on 75 degrees, okay? And this is going to slowly open. It takes a while. Bam, there she goes. Now, if I want to go down and drop the temperature, I'm going to press this one. So there's 74, 73. If I want to go up, I press this one. 74, 75. I'm going to leave it on 75. It's in Fahrenheit, okay? And right now the fan is on high. It's really pumping it out. If you want to change it, you can go like this. Medium, low, or high. And right now we've got it on high. Let's go ahead and put it on medium. And then over here is the mode. Right now I've got it on cool. If you wanted to take the moisture out of the air, you could put it to dry, or you could put it to auto, and then it would heat or cool, or just have the fan. So the way you do that is press this. You see it says 78. There's fan, there's auto, and there's cool. And that's basically how it works. The timer over here, you can turn it on and off, but I'm not even gonna fool with that. I'm just gonna leave it just like it is and let it cool here. You can really feel it. It feels really cool. All right, so I'm gonna come back here so you can hear how loud it is. So I'm in the back bedroom, and that's pretty much it right there. It sounds like a window shaker, you know, I mean, it's like one of those cheap window shakers. It's about the same decibels. So I think you could sleep with this without a problem. You can see it's moving up and down. And that's what it looks like inside there. Now to turn it off, all you do is just like this. Bam, it goes off. Now I'm going to show you the other way that you can turn it on. Yeah, right here. So you're going to notice when I do this right here and turn it on, you're going to see this display appear there. All right, you ready? Here we go. Bam. See that? 71. Now it's going to be even colder. So now, if I want to change the mode, let's look at it as I do it. So I've got it at cool. See how it went to dry? And it's on dry here. Now it's going to heat. There's fan. Went to fan. Went to auto. And now we'll go to cool. Yeah. So that's how that works. Now to make it go up and down, check it out. I press here, it goes to 72, 72 there. Press here, it goes to 71, right? All right. So now to power it down, oh look, the fan. Let's check out the fan. Let's click on this. There's low. There's medium, right? Let's take a look at it. There's high, right? There's high there, high on here. Okay? So let's go ahead and we'll put it back to, let's go to medium. We'll leave it on medium. Okay? And so it does all the other things. Sleep, it's got all these other doohickeys on here, the timer. But the most important, of course, is the fan, the mode, and the off and on button. And your temperature controls here. So that's basically how it works, you know what I mean? So now to turn it off, I would just press this button here. And it turns it off. See that? But this still shows you, because it has the batteries in it, this is still going to show you this, the last series that you put it at. So that's basically your Toshiba remote right there. And that's how it works with this unit. And we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to hit start. Bam. It's on 74, and you can see I already got it on cool. So that should work. It just takes a couple of seconds for it to, to kick in. And there it goes. It's kicking in now. So far, so good. And you can see it's not that loud. Not that loud at all. So the reason we're using this, of course, is because I've got to get this one recharged and something's wrong with it. So anyway, that's your Toshiba 10,000 BTU, blowing the cold air, working pretty good. All right, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and check out my other awesome videos on this cool portable AC unit.